Yeah. This picture, that's the speaker, yeah, my sister. She's a lot of people. And this is the culture. This is one of my sleep, and this was his idea, you know, whatever that is. But we actually, if you want to do something, now it's the least. Yeah. That's fine, all that figure your head. I think I never know. Then I can. Yeah. Oh. Yes. I don't have that over there. Yeah. So it's like, this is right here, it's okay. Still on. Yeah. Mike.
Okay, if everyone can rise, this is what we do. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, first, trustee Briggs, as trustee Ivy, trustee Ellis, present, deputy mayor Younger, present. You can start quickly with the approval of minutes. We have three different meetings to approve. If I could have a motion to approve September 22nd, 2025 minutes. Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Approval, can I have a motion to approve the September 29th, 2025 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the October 6, 2025 workshop meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. If we can, I want to just jump ahead so that we don't keep them here for too long. But I'd like to, we can have the motion. Jump in, motion hiring Richard Thorpe as the building and fire code inspector part-time. Put forward, he's here with us tonight. He's going to be filling a vacancy we've had now for a number of months. So with that, if I could have a motion to hire Richard Thorpe as the building and fire code inspector part-time at a rate of $19 per hour, not to exceed 20 hours per week, based on the MOA with the
Move it. That's number 10.
that is number 10.
Who was second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
My dad, you know, for the notes was. Okay, so we'll jump back to petitioners in respondents. Like all have you come up, speak about the repair cafe update? Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is John Glagola. For all of you who don't know me, I'm here to speak today about Repair Cafe. At our most recent cafe, which was about 2 months ago, we helped 35 people and we repaired 65 items. That's 65 items saved from a landfill, 65 chances for neighbors to connect, share knowledge, and build a stronger, more sustainable, and inclusive community. The cafe had a repair success rate of 90%. That means roughly 9 out of 10 items came in, we got them fixed. Behind those numbers are real people and stories of people that live in this village and in the town of Warsing. We helped a young boy named Danny who brought in his bike. One of the pedals had broken off. Our volunteers worked together to fix the pedal and put it back on the bike. And he rode away with a huge smile and he did a wheelie down Center Street.
Okay, good thing Bill wasn't that.
It was not condoned by Repair Cafe. We said no.
Okay, that's fine.
We helped a little boy named Lewis. We fixed his toy car. After we fixed his toy car, he drove it around the Repair Cafe and he was running into everything. He was the happiest boy I've ever seen. We helped a woman named Loretta. She brought in a lamp from the 1900s. It hadn't worked in decades. The volunteers fixed it together, and when the lamp turned back on, so did Loretta. She had a huge smile. It was a really incredible moment. These are just a few examples of how the Repair Cafe combines resources and volunteers to help the community in a cost-effective way. It's free for people to bring stuff in to get fixed. We do ask for an involuntary donation at the end of the repair if they would like to give one. We have our next Repair Cafe on October 18th. It's going to be from noon to 4. I'd invite all of you to come to the Repair Cafe and to meet the volunteers and to spend some time with us. We'd love to see you. I'd also like to ask the board if you guys would be willing to donate $250 to sponsor a Repair Cafe in the future, not this particular Repair Cafe, but a Repair Cafe in the future. This money would go directly to parts and items for repairs. This item is not reimbursing individuals. It is solely for the acquisition of more materials to do further repairs. Would that be something you guys are interested in doing and or can do?
Questions, I think we have to research.
We can do it individually, we can't do it.
Yeah,
Can't do it as you do it individually. But as a board.
No, I meant like in the village of Ellenville.
we'll get a shot at it. I think it's gonna be difficult, especially from a material standpoint, we'll look into it.
Right. To be clear, it would be a check that would go to Sustainable Hudson Valley. It wouldn't go to the Ellenville Repair Cafe. This would be going to a nonprofit, 501c3, and then the 501c3 would distribute the funds to the Ellenville Repair Cafe as they needed them. All right?
Yep.
Are you guys around this weekend? Will you be able to make it?
I will. What you said, it's at noon?
Yeah, it's at noon.
Just on Friday?
It's on Saturday.
Okay, I should hopefully be back just in the day.
Cool, it's in the floor.
I'll stop by.
Thank you so much.
Stop by.
You're gonna try to step by?
Yeah.
Where is
I've been familiar with the one there.
It's at 73 Center Street, which is the old Norbury building. It's gonna be in the fire engine base. Would it be all right if I pass around some flyers?
Sure. Yep, and you wanna leave some on the side too?
Thanks. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Josh, for the
Thanks, John.
update. Okay, Rita Vanacord? Hi, Rita.
Hi, thank you. A few weeks ago, I was here asking the board if they would support the opposition resolution of the big, bad, beautiful bill proposed by our federal government. We have an opposition resolution proposed by Indivisible Ulster which is a nonpartisan organization. I just handed the board before the meeting the resolution which we amended, and the amendment only has 4 items on it that are different than the original resolution because we were fearing that the resolution was too vague.
Okay.
So we wanted to list exactly what that resolution was and why it was being put in place.
Rita, just to confirm, if you don't mind, I just want to make sure we have the correct thing in front of us.
That I believe Michelle just handed it all to you.
That was
There's
this
3 pages, yes. Okay, so, I'm here again because, and I get really emotional over this, but we're not red and we're not blue, we're human beings. And human beings right now are not being treated like human beings, they are being treated by what their beliefs are. This country does not stand for that, that's not American in any way. So, I'm not asking the board to take an action other than supporting this opposition to the bill. And it could potentially do great harm to the constituents who have elected you to represent us. Now, I went to another board who said it's not our responsibility to support or not support legislation, but it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility because we elected you. We can't go before anybody and say we agree or don't agree. We elect officials locally, we elect them countywide, we elect them statewide, we elect them federally, and we elect them to represent the people on all levels. And so the issues concerning us are so vast and so great, it doesn't matter whether you vote Republican, Democrat, working families, whatever you vote is your business. Right now, this is about people in our town who are going to be detrimentally affected by what's happening on a federal level that is targeting. Our Supreme Court just said that they can target racially. Give me a break. We're being targeted, and right now, if you happen to be blue, whatever that means, because as far as I'm concerned, all the parties are corrupt, but lesser of 2 evils at this point. We're being targeted and people are being targeted. And as a result, the most important thing right now is your health care is at risk. Every single one of us, whether who you are, a family, a veteran, a hospital, we're at risk of maybe losing our rural hospitals. We're at risk of losing rehabs. We're at risking losing nursing homes because the funding is being controlled by one person in this country and not be allowed to trickle down from a government who has already allocated money. So anyway, I could go on and on and on, and I'm not going to go on and on and on. What I'm going to just say to you is please, please, with my whole heart, I truly believe that every board that supports this resolution to oppose the bad bill, these resolutions will be forwarded to our state officials, to our federal officials, so that we can not just stand on street corners and oppose things or support things, however you choose to do it, but be looked at as a group of constituents as a whole that are being harmed by the things that are happening in our government today. So the 3 pages that I gave you was the new resolution with the amendment. The second page is what will this funding bill cost you and your family in the county of Ulster? And the third page is not neglecting that the fact that this bill is also gutting $300 billion from higher education. So all in all, I'm just begging this board to stand up for people who are asking you to stand up for people. Thank you very much for the time listening.
Thank you.
Okay. Brianna Ducker, Soul to Soul.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. Okay, can I give you guys these papers? About you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So there's three papers here. The one is what I'm going to be reading to you. And then the other two are. I'm super nervous, so bear with me. It's just public speaking, that's all. Okay.
Good, appreciate it.
Yes, okay, so, hi everyone, I'm Brianna Becker, and I'm the owner of Soul to Soul Life Coaching and Somatic Healing LLC. I'm right here on 69 Center Street. You guys wanna come and check us out? I love that. So today I'm presenting what I believe Ellenville needs. It's called Reassess, Reform, Redesign. It happens every time. Okay. This is hi, I'm Brianna Ducker, and I'm here to elevate Ellenville. I am a somatic healer, life coach, and trauma-informed space holder who turned my own story of chaos and addiction and generational trauma into a mission and my purpose to help others break free. Raised in toxic dysfunction and driven by healing, I founded Soul to Soul to create a safe, inclusive space where individuals can reconnect with their emotional bodies, release stored trauma, and rewrite their stories from the inside out. Soul to Soul combines somatic healing, nervous system regulation, and life coaching to guide individuals through a three-phase modality: reassess, reform, and redesign. Reassessing is understanding your story and identifying your triggers and where the trauma lives in your body, understanding your inner child. Reforming is releasing old patterns and beliefs through somatic practices like breathwork, meditation, and grounding techniques, creating safe places internally and externally. Redesigning. Redesigning is to rebuild a grounded, empowered sense of self, creating new neural pathways and improving quality of life and relationships to self and others, creating healthy connections to anxiety, depression, and pain. Our goal is to help people regulate their nervous systems, strengthen emotional resilience, and end cycles of addiction, violence, and disconnection. According to my recent understanding, Ulster, Orange, and Sullivan counties have a combined overdose rate of over 1,000 and rise every single day. Domestic violence and mental health calls remain at record highs across all three counties, and at least 1 in 5 adults experience mental illness each year. Our youth is at the forefront here. They suffer the most when it comes to the lack of emotional and communal support. My daughter lost her father at 3 years old from an overdose. These are the dark parts, the other side of the coin no one wants to look at. There have been over 100,000 overdose deaths nationally in 2022. And in Ulster County and surrounding areas, there's a high homeless rate, including youth and families. We need to heal ourselves at a nervous system level. The Sanctuary of Soul to Soul in Ellenville is here to support. Our holistic trauma-informed wellness center is designed to offer somatic healing, coaching, movement, and art therapies, provide workshops on nervous system regulation, recovery, and emotional literacy. Partnering with local agencies to serve individuals impacted by addiction, domestic violence, and mental health. Build community resilience through embodied education and human connection. And create creative youth programs for underserved children and families. Our community is hurting and ready for something different. The time for a preventative body-based healing system is now. With community partnership and local support, we can reduce relapse, rebuild families, and restore hope from the inside out. I am asking for the board and all local community members to stand together and hold each other in a way that shows up for all parts of this working community. We all deserve a place at the podium. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, Brianna, I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
Since you have opened up your business, have you seen good success? Have people been coming?
I believe that my success is alignment, and people, when faced with themselves in the mirror, it's hard for them to look at themselves. I have, first knowledge of that, doing it myself. As far as getting people to come in, it's not that easy. I have a few clients. I run a sister circle. I'm going to be starting a men's group. But every person that walks through my doors feels this sense of safety and love. I want to give this community an opportunity to be seen in a way that they haven't really been seen. I'm a local here, I've lived here, you know, my whole life, not in Ellenville, the Hudson Valley. But I've been an addict on the streets, and I see people that are still unfortunately on them. You know, I left for 3 years and came back in there, you know, still here. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, you did. Well, you know, I commend you for standing up and doing well with your presentation. And it's good to see that, you know, you're out there willing to help those who are in need in the community. And I don't know if you remember me, but I did stop in and inquiring, you know, about your business. I did look inside and I wanted to come in and take a nap and just relax.
Yeah.
You know, but I commend you for the willingness, you know, stepping up to help those that are in the community. So we wish.
Thank you. Yeah, I invite you guys to come in, you know, it's nervous system, knowing about our nervous system is not just for the low income individuals, you know, everybody is running around with it as we speak, you know, so it's important for us to be trauma informed and understand our nervous system so that we can create a reality that is on a regulated basis on autopilot, so.
Don't get discouraged because, I know that that's not just with your situation, but I know that Janet Nunez, who they're doing so much over the Trudy Barber Resnick Center. And, they're having a really tough time getting people to walk through the door. So I don't know if it's just the phrase to go into an unknown space or phrase to open up or whatever. So, persistence, and I think this is great. Now that I have the information, I would be happy to sell it, if I have a couple ideas in mind and to be able to.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that the community is in need of safety. And to know that you know, like this woman was saying, that you guys are gonna show up, you know, because we're here you know, in the grass, in the dirt, in our boots every single day, showing up for this community in ways that as a case manager for Family at Woodstock I couldn't do. So it's important that we create safety and they know that we're gonna show up and feel supported by that, so. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brianna.
Okay, is there any Roger, any petitioners, any other petitioners too after Roger?
I would just like to remind everybody, invite everybody, this Saturday at 11 o'clock. The Ellenville / Town of Washington Historical Commission will be doing a walking tour of the village. We'll be meeting at the Borscht Belt Museum at 11 o'clock. When we're done, you can go to the repair cafe. We'll be going down Canal Street to the Berm Road and back. It will be led by Bucky Green, who's the village historian. If anybody knows Bucky, the guy is just a walking encyclopedia of the history of Ellenville. He's got some great old pictures. We figure it's going to take around an hour to do. It's not supposed to rain. Everyone should come out. It's going to be a great time. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger.
What time again, Rob?
11 o'clock.
Meeting at the Borscht Belt?
Meeting right here at the Borscht Belt Museum.
Somebody leave the phone here?
Me.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to request permission to do a refresh on the gazebo with volunteers. If the village would be open to buying the supplies, we probably just need some primer and some paint. And just to give it a little spruce up, it's very rusty and not a great representation of our lovely village. So I thought that that would be an easy little upgrade that we could accomplish with some volunteers, which I would send up.
Sure, you wanna get us an idea of how many gallons you might need and then we can.
Yeah, I can send an email, is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No, the one on Shoreline. Thanks.
Anyone else here to speak to the board tonight?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'd like to start off, my name is Darren Bezon. I'm here to address the board about some situations that I'm dealing with as far as with me and my partner's business. And prior to this, first of all, I would like to start off by saying I opened my first business on Canal Street 2012, and that was a clothing store. It's called Supreme Clothing Overwear. I had it for 4 years on 105 on Canal Street. Then I went from that to having an ice cream truck, which I went to the board to try to get it approved, and I had they had a problem with it. I had to get the NAACP involved. That problem went away. With being Target. I also would like to say that I came up here from New York City. I came up here as a single parent with my 2 kids for a better life compared to the city. And I try to show my kids every day what it is and what responsibility it is. And during that time, I went through a lot of struggles here because it seems like they have a structure set up here to where if you're not down with the so-called posse, then you're not a part of it, and they want to exempt you or they want to control you. I've never given an issue with no one. I've never had an issue in this town. I've donated for the kids. The summer camps, put $250 in for the kids. I also gave out free ice cream. Here I have we have a Paul Buzz hot dog stand. And I've been harassed. I paid my peddler's license I have here, I have everything here. And they put me through the middle. I was told that we weren't allowed to move in certain areas. Which I have the rules here, what we're allowed to do. I was approached by Dan, the inspector. He ran up on me like a wild cowboy. I didn't know who he was, and just ran up with his truck. Hey, you can't sell hot dogs here. Get out of here. I'm gonna call the police. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you? Oh, I'm Dan, and I'm the inspector. I said, first of all, I have my permits. I have the map to where I can and where I can't. I said, but this is not how you approach people. Why are you approaching me like this? I had customers there. I had some young kids were there, and they were terrified. Their mothers were terrified. It was like, he's only selling hot dogs. I mean, he's not out here selling crack. He's not selling drugs. He's not showing our kids how to do something wrong. So what is the problem? He's talking about a push-cart hot dog truck. After that occurred, he said, I'm going to call the police on you. So I said, okay, call the police. He calls the police. 2 cop cars pulled up, 4 jumped out for hot dogs. That could have caused me to get killed, or that could have turned into something that really shouldn't be. You understand what I'm saying? I have you didn't ask me for none of my permits, nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So after that occurred, Phil came over. Phil took care of the situation. I was allowed to be there. I was selling my hot dogs there. The next hour or two, I get approached by TJ Briggs. He pulls up with his truck, takes a picture, smile, motherfucker. You're gonna go to jail soon.
Your Honor, everybody asked that if he's gonna speak, he should at least tell the truth and
I'm telling the truth. I got it on record.
say what.
Okay, I have it on record. So he pulls up, he says that to me, try to take a picture of me. I go like this. Yo, what's going on? He says, Dan is pissed off at you. You over here, you have no permit, you have none of that. I said, what are you talking about? I said, here it is. I gave it to him. I showed him. After I showed it to him, he said, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I see you got the thing from Michelle. The permit from Michelle. I said, yeah. I said, I have the permit, and this, you know what I'm saying? So then he leaves. Then after that, another guy in a white truck which I got on video too, comes down. I'm standing here, the truck comes this way, like it's ready to run me over, and pulls and stops and sits there. It's two guys in that truck with their high beams on, like trying to intimidate. I mean, and then I'm saying to myself, all this over me trying to sell a couple of hot dogs to survive, to feed my family. I'm a single parent. I haven't done nothing wrong. I have all my paperwork here. Today, I go to them, I try to show them this paper that I have right here that shows where I'm allowed to. And I asked them, I said, they're having a movie time coming up this week. I said, last week, the other week, I was there. I was allowed to sell hot dogs there. The guy that was doing it, he said, oh, come on. Yeah, we need something like that. Let me come in there. And I was selling I sold hot dogs. So this week I told them I was over. They told me, no, you can't go there. Only way place you can go is over here, or you can't be on private. I know I can't be on private property because unless I ask. But I could be 100 feet away from private property. I have the whole thing that's here. Now she saw the man Michelle is talking to Phil. Phil says, I don't see what's the big deal about hot dogs. You know, he's not bothering nobody, he's not trying to kill nobody. I gave out mad free hot dogs to all the kids. You can ask them. And you know what? These two young little girls came up to me and said, here, this is for you. Gave me 2 teddy bears and said, I want to thank you for doing what you're doing for the community and what you did for us. She said, I was hungry. And I'm glad you gave me those 2 hot dogs and that soda and them chips. You know, it really made my day. So this is what I will give you in return. And I want you to keep on doing this. You know, this is what happened. And all these kids come around. I was giving them out bubbles, me and my partner right here. This is Henry Bowles. We gave out, brought a whole bunch of stuff to give out to the kids. Always donating to the kids, trying to do something for the kids. And in return, I got Michelle, I got Dan, and this man that I didn't, you know, I don't even know, threatening me. And then they're telling me they're not going to renew my license when it's time to get it again because of me fighting for what's right and me doing what's right. This is the harassment that I'm getting.
I'm just going to say on one side, because apparently this is personal. Because the gentleman that drove up thought he was me. Now, of course, you must not know me. I came up here, this gentleman got licenses with everything. He asked all the right questions. I don't see the problem. But when you pull up with this gentleman thinking that it's me, and you're telling me, oh, you're gonna be in jail soon.
They told me I was going to be in jail.
And well, he thought you was me. I'm right here. I'm thinking it's personal. And I don't want to think it's because I got flavor. I don't want to think that this is going to be a problem. Because I've seen the problems here. And I've tried to address them. And that's what we gave away. Most of the inventory to your kids.
To the kids.
Gave it away.
Ain't make no money.
I'm talking about candy. I'm talking about blowing
barbecue. We have a
barbecue
barbecue here. Right here at the police station.
Yes.
With 14 days of giving away food
14 days.
to the kids coming over. We had a big jumping thing for the kids. Didn't get $1. We ain't asked for $1. But in return, this is what we get. And then after Michelle was talking to Phil, she tells Phil says, well, the mayor's gonna is the mayor gonna approve for him to be over there? She said no. That you
I said it's village property.
The village property.
Where's that?
Right there with
I said you had to get permission.
no, you said I heard on the phone. You said are we can speak up? That's right across where they have every Wednesday. That's every but she said I heard I was right there. She didn't know I was right there.
I knew you were right there. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Okay, I'm not arguing with that. I'm just talking. She said that the mayor is not gonna approve. Because Phil said, well, what's the big thing about hot dogs? Did he go over there and sell them? When the movie said, oh no. The mayor's not gonna allow, he's not gonna give permission. I have no reason to lie on this woman. I have no reason to lie on him. I never met him before, I met her before, and you know what I'm saying? But I have no reason to lie, that's all I wanna say, I'm asking that y'all allow me to where I can be at, and I have the paper here, and what I can do, allow it. Michelle is trying to shortchange me and tell me, well, I can't go here and I can't go there, and so is there. But I don't know for what reason and why, but it shouldn't have led up to all this over selling a couple hot dogs and mayonnaise to the kids. Thank you.
I'd like to speak, Michelle, Dan, Ian, in a conversation about the nature of power permits. To better understand exactly what can or can't be done. That's okay.
The only thing I ever requested, he got permission to be on 46th Canal. The only other thing I requested, if he was gonna be on someone's property, I would need permission. And just like he wanted to sell at the movies on the mountain, he would have to be board approved. That's all I said.
On the thing it tells you that you don't have to have permission, if you're on private property. And it belongs to someone, you can ask them, that's when you have permission, but if you don't ask them, you have to be 100 feet from anybody's private properties. Or commercial,
So-
that's what it says.
I'm sorry of whatever happened. I wasn't there. I can't speak for her. I can't speak for him. But I do think that we just all need to sit down and see what is allowed and what isn't allowed. You have paper and you said the peddler, so like he said, to meet with Michelle and see what exactly, because I don't want you to be harassed, and I'm sorry you felt like you're harassed, and it could have been a miscommunication, I wasn't there, but I'm sorry if it did happen that way. I mean, the intention is for you to be allowed to do what you can do, and we do appreciate, because my son is friends with your son, the things that you do. So we do appreciate that, but I just think that we have to understand what is going on, and like you said, meet with them so we can give you the exact. I don't want that to happen again to you, and I'm sorry it did happen to you.
Well, I met with them and it's no negotiation, it's just what they wanna do and that's it. It's no negotiation.
I don't think we're looking for a negotiation, I think we're just looking for clarity of
Right.
what the peddlers and what you're allowed and able to do. So I just want that to be clear for everybody, so maybe if somebody doesn't have to do the same situation, I'm sorry you went through it, but we don't want the next person to go through the same thing that you did. And I appreciate, like I said, the things that you do for the youth, because you do a lot, so thank you.
I'm just saying that I feel that I'm scared in a way for my life because I had a man come approach me talking about I'm gonna be going to jail soon. I have 2 teenage kids that I've set example. Over the years, I've left the city to not be a part, to come up here and deal with this nonsense that these people that pose to be more intelligent.
I get it, I understand what you're saying, and like I said, I just wanted to, we're gonna clear it up and see what it is, I'm sorry of what happened, we can't change what happened, but moving forward, we don't want it to happen again.
And then I find out one of them was on the board. But I'm trying to figure out who this guy was that did that, and now it's on the board.
So if you would allow, as trustee Ellis said, give the mayor. The upstairs staff, the police chief opportunity to look at it. I
did not have it recorded.
I did not, I was not aware that all of this was happening. But I do feel that everyone should be treated, fairly and justly across the board. And so with the mayor, the police chief, upstairs, the staff.
Bill's trying to negotiate with them.
Well, it's not
negotiating,
it's not
Bill
a
was
matter-
trying to just,
it's not
he called up and told
Well,
me he had
we
to,
understand.
and she still was like, no.
It's not a
To
matter.
speak to Michelle's probably just going on what she is told to do.
I
like
went on
you
the
did
commission, that's what I went on.
So it's not a
When I
matter.
see the paper.
Hold on, Mr. Faison, hold on. So it's not a matter of. What
There's a procedure in
what did you
place.
say again? What was the matter of,
What did he say or what did I say?
Mr. Faison?
Oh, okay.
And what I'm saying is that it's a procedure, she said she went by the code, you went by that code, but why you not going by this code? This is Albany. I got this from Albany, I called up to Albany
Yeah,
to make
Yeah,
sure.
local
We have,
ordinance.
yes.
To make
That's the local ordinance right there.
So if you're glad.
You have to review then what you had,
Yeah.
you have to review what we had, and
Right, and this is for y'all.
realistically, we're likely to have.
Yeah.
I called Albany and then they sent me to the lady and she sent it faxed it, what y'all supposed to follow right here.
So if you will allow the mayor, building inspector, police chief, you know, to look at what our regulations are, what our laws are, and what you have. It's not a matter of negotiation, it's a matter of what you're able to do. So that's what we want to accomplish.
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna say this last thing, because I heard you say, the building inspector,
Yes,
okay. Evidently, me and him got a problem,
okay,
okay, evidently, I don't know, because you know, I'm kind of straightforward. And anything I say to your back, behind your back, I can say to your face. Okay, and I've never minced words. I don't even know anybody that doesn't know me that I ever mince words with. I'm too old for that. I earned every gray hair I got.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's two different things.
It sounds personal to me.
Sorry?
It sounds personal to me.
We don't know, but all I know is that we wanna fix the problem. We're looking to, like, so we can talk about this outside of the meeting,
Sounds
you
good.
gotta be understanding, I'm like I said, I'm sorry, moving
What
forward.
about me going to jail? That's what I'm worried about, because I got two kids. And I'm not doing nothing to go to jail, but I don't know if I'm gonna get set up here or what's gonna happen here. Cause I got a lawyer on the case, so I wanna know, you know, what's gonna happen here, because I was thinking about going to jail, being put in jail. And I got two teenagers that I've been setting example for, the one 17, he ready to be 17, and the other one's 14. And I've been setting example and been going to this school since 16 years, 17 years, I've been in this community and coming in here and opening up businesses and doing for the kids.
We hear you, and going forward, we will need to do to make sure that whatever it is, we can,
No more rest,
okay?
no more.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sandy,
Just quick, to consider canceling the no parking in the streets over the winter.
to canceling.
Yeah, because
it's.
as for now, for the last, I don't know how many years, you cannot park in the streets over the winter because of the
And
snow cleanup or whatever. So what happened, a lot of residents just park in the parking lot. And then, you know, people don't have anywhere to park, you know, especially it's idiotic because when you don't have snow, especially when you don't have snow, people just leave the car there. You know, and they're coming from a few blocks away to park in that parking lot. You know,
I get it, it's tough.
and then you cannot clean the parking lot as well when you have parking there.
Yeah.
So,
I get it, it's tough, because when it does snow though, and you have streets littered with cars. And you don't have a blanket enforcement or a process.
I was living in Queens, New York, and everybody parked in the street, and you never had a problem, you know?
They have a massive budget to deal with the overtime that I'm sure they incur when they begin to do the moving from the sides of the street. I get it, I hear what you're saying, we can look into something, I hesitate that there will be unintended consequences from this that we will run into. It is very common practice in many small urban municipalities throughout the Hudson Valley to have a very similar, if not identical, ordinance.
Well, maybe please consider when it's not snowing, because, you know, maybe when it's snowing, you say, okay, you know.
Yeah.
When you have a snowstorm, you know, keep your car off,
Yeah,
you know, because a lot of residents that don't have a driveway. And, you know, they don't have a choice but go over there and they just leave the car there for a few days.
I think, you know, objectively knowing from, you know, different issues we've run into in the past, unrelated to this, is that communication is one of the most difficult things that we had in touching all of our residents. That it's tough to get in touch with anybody on a moment's notice and communicate those things. Where it'd be very easy to just say, I don't hear, and they likely did it. It's good feedback, I get where you're coming from, I can certainly stew on it a little bit and look to see if there are any other variables that we're not looking into. But I hear you.
If anything, I think that would save the village money if they don't need to completely clear the whole street. One street is so wide, you know. All you need to do is make, you know, pathway for cars to pass, basically. Instead on labor and tolls and, you know.
We can look into it, we can definitely look into it. Okay, thanks, Sandy. Is there anyone else here to speak to the board tonight? Okay. So we'll move on to discussion, quickly, water and sewer billing update. So as some of you may know, if you got the water bill, about a week and a half ago, they went out. We now are on our new system, transition soon to go. I don't want to say smoothly because it took a lot of work to get there. But the data is being validated. We now have online bill pay, which has been one of the most requested things I think I've heard for the last number of years. We're looking into, what some of the feedback we got is there's a convenience fee. That's not our language, that's the payment processor, but it is functionally covering a processing fee, 3.5% for credit cards, 1% for e-checks. But we're going to try to implement a feeless ACH option in the next quarter. We have to work with our vendor on that and we'll see where we get. But functionally, the convenience fee is a processing fee, the same that we have in office. If you come in to pay with a credit card, we charge the processing fee for the credit card. So we're trying to get it to match where if you pay with a check in office or mail it in, we're not charged with the fee. So hopefully we can get that done. But other than that, it was, like you said, a lot of work, a lot of nitty gritty data digging, which was a great thing. It allowed effectively for what would amount to an audit of all of our water and sewer accounts. There were a lot of things to go through. There's a lot more still to go through. But we have this base collection of data now, which is more accessible than it has ever been before. Yeah, if you saw the old reports that would come out, it would make your eyes water. It was a 35-year-old billing program written in COBOL, which if you don't know what that is, that's fine. And if you do, you know why we need to move on. So anyways, I'm very happy to say, because this is one of the things that has kept me up, is that it went smoothly. Central Hudson can speak to the disaster, something like this could happen. But anyways, with that, moving on to old delinquent taxes and our current tax year separately. In your agendas, we had an update on the tax collection efforts for delinquencies on and prior to the 2022-2023 fiscal year. In July of 24, the delinquencies totaled from those years and previous 600. Yeah. The delinquencies totaled $620,000. As of October 1st, they are down to outstanding are $324,000 approximately. Of that are some uncollectibles, we can call them, which are environmentals. These are properties that have significant environmental issues. We are likely to not pursue a foreclosure on them because that would expose us to huge liability. They represent about $82,000 worth of previous back taxes, which have accumulated over not just years but decades. There's not much that can be done. We've been looking into some other options to see if other larger municipalities have used different mechanisms to deal with it. A lot of it has come up as you would foreclose on them, but you become liable. So we're trying to avoid that. The next amount that are uncollectibles, if you will, are bankruptcies. We've had, I think, 1 or 2 bankruptcies that relate to it. We're still working through those. Obviously, we can turn over the documentation to the bankruptcy courts. They will make a determination. Would be one of the first lenders of opportunity, if you will, to recover, depending on the outcome of that. If there's assets to receive and to settle those payments. So that amounts to a total of about $105,000 out of $324,000. Next, we've entered into payment plans with a lot of the outstanding individuals, which has gone on now for over the last year, and we continue to work towards that so that we can avoid foreclosing on the properties. And right now we have $80,000 worth of payment plans collecting that are active. We've had some previous ones that we've already closed out, which is a part of the total dropping. So the total, and then we have balance of payments collected, I believe, which is the $68,000. So the amounts Combined with active payment plan balances, we've already received our $148,000, which leaves subtracting out the environmentals and bankruptcies about $70,000 worth of delinquencies that we can hope to more readily collect through either foreclosure or hopefully getting them on payment plans. I'm just going to quickly wrap up the other part. We've had attorney's fees related to that, and total so far $4,700. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. That total is higher. I will actually get that because that's not the amount. As a part of this, we can bill a lot of our costs that it relates to collecting this back to the individuals or the properties that are delinquent, which has so far occurred. About $4,700 of that have been billed back. We hope to continue to work through that with various other property owners if we are able to enter into agreements. But it could also be submitted as a part of the foreclosure process as we go through that. Mary?
So I just have a question as the money is coming in, is this being put aside to start to pay down those TANs rather than just put it into the general fund? Because technically, the TANs were money we borrowed in anticipation of tax revenues, so it seemed to me as the tax revenue is coming in, we should start to pay down those TANs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of this is coming from the previous tax into the previous year. I completely agree. What I think the hope is that as we get towards the end of the budget year and we see where we are, that's exactly the plan, that we can earmark this, especially as maybe as a fund balance that we carry over, and then earmark it as a budgeting aspect towards the TANs and the RANs that are attached. We have a RAN, but that will also be uncollectible. That's, I think the intention is to start paying down the debt of it.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, and then next we have our New York Forward application. So for those who don't know, the village engaged Jonathan Drapkin and Tim Wiederman to assist us with a New York Forward application, which is in effect a smaller DRI. The state about 4 years ago recognizing that DRI can't be a one size fits all, and that effectively all the winners were at least double our size in population. Thus, these small communities were never going to get awarded. Created New York Forward to provide an economic downtown revitalization benefit. We have a public engagement meeting coming up on October 22nd. Would encourage anybody who is available to come out and attend. As we, 7 o'clock. Here, yep, right in this space. To give feedback, John.
Your invite said it's at the library.
I'll double check that. It's not, it should not be at the library. I'll double check.
Eventbrite.
On the Eventbrite? Okay, I'll double check. Thanks, John.
The one I saw was here, so.
I'll double check.
Okay.
It could be the Eventbrite as an error in it, so we'll double check on that. Just to give a composition for those of you who are familiar with the DRI previously, it's focusing on business, a lot of it functionally. It's focusing on core downtown areas, beautification, potentially municipal projects. The state has made a big focus in the last couple of years on housing. If you don't have a housing component attached to a DRI or a New York Forward, it is highly unlikely that you will be awarded, which for the village of Ellenville has been a hurdle. We are very much built out. We don't have big sprawl of vacant land anymore to do a major housing project, but we're trying to utilize some assets we maybe have to create a scope of a project that could be a good boom for our application. So that will be discussed more at the meeting. Okay, so we'll move on. We're adding a new section to the agenda, which is going to appear every single week until the thing is built. It is called Clinton Avenue Bridge Watch. We have heard the feedback. I get it. And it certainly when you don't hear an update, sometimes it's just simply because there isn't an update. But I think it's prudent at this point, given the time that this thing has dragged on for, that every single meeting we have a bullet point item to talk about. So with this meeting, I want to update the board and the public. In your agenda packets, you saw the communication that we received from the engineers. I also, am CC'd on emails from DOT as they close out aspects of this project. As we kind of discussed, two of the primary last hurdles to get over are DOT's final comments on the application for construction and right-of-way acquisition. I think we're just about to clear out most of the DOT items. They feel that way, engineers and DOT. It's just real basic rudimentary, change this language, adjust this. The right-of-way stuff is gonna be probably the more, I don't wanna say complicated hurdle, but it always can be a wild card. We've gotten some comments back from the company who's assisting the firm to do that. They have asked if we can assist in a couple of items that are very much community related. The deputy mayor, certainly as a resident of the area, is going to assist in making some contact to see where we can go and expedite that process as much as we can. If we can get those items closed out, the pathway to bid, which is the next big step, becomes a lot clearer and a lot quicker. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have an update.
Yeah, and when you asked me to look, reach out to one of the property owners, I tried, but I wasn't able to make contact. And then I think there was a communication barrier.
Yep.
And I was trying to find a interpreter for the property owner, but I've yet to find one to assist. So, but I'm working on it. Whatever I can do to speed this process along. We who live in that area, we know what it's like. Crossing that bridge every day. The potential that it causes to those that are crossing the bridge. So whatever I can do to help, in
What kind of interpreter do you need?
Hungarian.
I have.
there you go.
My tenants are from Hungary, and that's translate.
Yeah.
I will send you an email tomorrow morning and we'll see where we can go from there.
Awesome.
Thanks, Doug.
I should have come to the mayor and that area in the first place. And so you could have helped us move it along, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Problem solved, as they say.
So, thank you.
Yeah, so in Ulster County, transportation has been trying to just rattle whatever cans they can, just to keep everybody on their toes, DOT and our engineers too, just to make sure that they're doing everything that they can be, providing some good back pressure a little bit. So we hear you, and again, in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about it. Okay, we have treasurer's report, which is a PowerPoint presentation to do an overview of year-to-date budget review. I'm gonna try to get this up on here so we can share it to anybody who's watching, but typically it's recorded for later on. 1 second.
Now, what we're looking is like everybody does wrong for you.
Yes, yep, year to date, so we have the appropriation report and then the treasurer has put together a summary of areas of interest. It's like we get this stuff.
So this will be the first time.
Okay. So Casey, I'm gonna have you come up. I'm gonna give you the keyboard so you can advance the slides. And then you can get it back over to the.
Will it work over here since?
Yes, yep. That up here. Yep. So I believe it'll just be pair of these. Yep, so you can work your way through, okay?
All right, thank you.
Also welcome.
Okay, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about the budget. Put together this PowerPoint presentation. I'm gonna do a year-to-date budget review, starting with our fiscal year, June 1st through October 10th. I calculated that we are 19 weeks into our budget, and that is about 36.5%. This is moving around. Okay. So
there are many components to the budget, and my approach to this was to just go over the high points. So I'm gonna break it down by water and sewer expenses and revenue, and then general expenses and revenue, and then I'm also gonna touch on employee benefits and debt. If you have any specific questions, if related to this information, feel free to stop by my office. And you can call me, send an email, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. As the mayor mentioned earlier, we went live with our new utility billing system for water and sewer at the end of September. It connects directly to our financial software, so everything posts in real time. It's very efficient for us, kind of working out the kinks, but we like it so far.
The water sewer is already split, so it will come in on the new system, it goes directly to that.
Yes, so with the system, you can only link it to one bank account, so we have it right now linked to our water account. But the payments post in real time, like I mentioned, and it's split between water, sewer. The expenses are split between water and sewer. And then at the end of every month, we'll do a journal entry and code it back to the sewer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and the best part about the utility billing, as was mentioned, is that you can pay it online now. Okay, so I kind of have a lot of numbers to throw at you guys, and it's not very entertaining. I can't sing or dance, but just bear with me. This is how I'm gonna go about it. So as mentioned, we are in week 19, and for expenses, our expenses are broken down into 3 categories: payroll, equipment, and contractual items. So like I said, I just went over the high points and I made this little chart here. Payroll, the target percentage, as I mentioned, is 36.5. So if you look at the budget year as a whole, our average should be around 36.5%. Payroll is 38.6 for the water department, and it's 73.2 for the contractual expenses. And why are those a little bit higher? Well, why is payroll a little bit higher? Because of water leaks, digs, the emergency call outs. The contractual expenses, they are really high, and the main contributor to that is the Harris Well refurbishment project, which I believe took place in June or July. It was $77,000, and we had to pay that out of pocket. And that's not something we anticipated with this budget. And then also that's going to be offset by revenue because we did get a statutory installment bond for the $77,000. Our first payment is going to be next July, and it's 3 payments. There was also the Westwood Pump House. It was over $6,000. Fire hydrant replacements over $7,000. Engineering $25,000. Chemicals $8,000. Water meters $10,000. Professional fees $4,500. Road repair $7,200. Electric, it's a really big cost, $30,000. Excuse me. Pumps and equipment over $6,000. Postage and freight $1,200, and telecommunications over almost $2,000. I know that's a lot of information, like I said.
So can I ask a question? The
Sure.
engineering cost, is that because of what we were doing at the Harris Well? Is that primarily?
I know that was involved. If you want, I can get you more detailed information. I can look at that specific line and let you know.
So to provide actually some background, a good chunk of it is relating to our application and our securing of our flower for the WIA grant that we put through. So that makes up a lot of it, it's flagged under, and then Delaware's work as a part of that grant. Or I apologize, Delaware's work as a part of the engineering for that grant.
Okay. We allowed to ask questions.
Sure.
So you're basing this just basically on 52 weeks out of the year, that's how you come up with the 36.5%, correct?
Yes, because we're 19 weeks into our fiscal year.
So how does this compare to year to date this time last year with last year's budget in terms of those expenses? Just like, everybody gets nervous when they see the road maintenance bills. In the winter time, obviously, snow removal is gonna be higher than it is in the summer.
Right.
Do you know how it compares previous year?
Well, I knew someone was gonna ask me that. I didn't, there were so many ways that I could have prepared this. And I didn't prepare it that way. I didn't do a comparison. That's something I can do. We just got this software and we have used it for 1 year, so this year, this fiscal year is kind of our break free. Now we have a past, we can look into that more.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Something that we can do.
I just think it may scare people to see you're at 70-something% and budget only at 36 mark, but maybe there's no more expenses for the rest of the year and you're fine.
Right, yes, I was gonna mention that later, given this time of year, since our budget year starts June 1st. That's kind of like the bulk of our business and all of our profits, really. So, yeah, that is a good point, I was gonna mention that later.
You think you could turn that so that we could actually see it?
I don't know if I can turn that.
Find a balance so we can see it too, it's a board meeting.
Yeah.
I get it, no good layout for this.
We can slide it down.
Can you guys still see it? Okay. Oops, sorry. That's a sleight of the hand trick. Oh, guess board meeting's over.
That's we're gonna change.
We'll mess everything up. Okay. Is that a little better? I know there's not much,
It's still better, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sewer expenses. Payroll was at 47.6%, and like I mentioned, our average, we should be around right now is 36.5. They have a lot of emergency call outs with the SCADA system. Is that what it's called? SCADA. So that contributes to that. Contractual expenses at 55.1%. Which is about 18.6 higher than the average this time. Lab fees were expensive, almost $6,000. Sludge is a heavy hitter, it's over $48,000. Shop expense parts over $6,000. Electric, very expensive, over $24,000. Equipment repair, we had to repair 2 of the sewer trucks. Oh, that's the vehicle repair. Equipment repair, $33,295. The vehicle repair and service, that was the 2 sewer trucks. Pump station repair, over $3,000. Postage and freight, over $2,000, and telecommunications over.
And so vehicle repair, everybody remembers we need to replace the engine, one of the vehicles, so it's definitely takes up the largest chunk of that component.
Water and sewer revenue. We have billed 2 quarters so far this fiscal year. The first bills went out July to August, and the second set of bills that we just sent out were sent out October, and they're due November. We're at 42.5% of the total that we billed. We've received 42.5% so far. Moving on to general payroll. So the general fund, that has the most components, and I broke it down by departments. I know it's kind of hard to see because I can't really read that at all. But The clerk and treasurer's department I put together and they're at 37.5%. And it's slightly elevated because we had a lump sum retirement payout that was included in that. The legislative and executive, they're only at 10%. I just wanted to include that just so you guys could see. That includes the trustees, the mayor, and the manager. So that's why. It kind of, my slides got a little bit skewed on the map, I think.
Yeah, this is a map.
Oh,
A
yeah.
PowerPoint presentation and looks like Keynote has mildly shifted some of the lines, but the numbers and the information there looks like.
Yeah, my arrow line is supposed to be around 36.5, but that's okay. The police department is at 40.8%, and I mean, that's the nature of their department. They had emergency responses, event security, and so forth.
Is this with, so is this showing us with the pay that comes in as well, like what we get from the school for the police department, is that?
That's the revenue side. I didn't get there yet. This is just straightforward expense. Yep.
So, and just for the public, for some things to emphasize, so we've had a vacancy in the executive side, we haven't had a village manager in a year, certainly through the first number of months of the budget year. That is the bulk majority of expenses under the executive line. Clerk line, we've had a vacancy. We typically had three full-time positions in the clerk line. Right now, we only have two, deputy and a main clerk. And we also have the retirement payout budgeted there. Police, as Casey alluded to, streets, police, water, we do a lot of business, if you will, from June 1st, which is our budget year start, to probably about the end of October. So we get really front loaded on the payroll and the contractual expenses. This is why it's kind of important to look at where we are year to date, because this is where we have to start bringing those averages back in line, or make sure that they get back in line. They tend to, simply because of the nature of how we work, but again, that's the perspective of saying, here we are year to date on certain things like this, and we have to be mindful if they're going over, which they are, but also intentional. That's just simply how municipal operation works.
And the same with the golf course, Decker Memorial Park, they're at 52.7%, which is really high, but it's really not a fair assessment because they're at the height of their season right now, approaching the off season. Well, general contractual, these contractual expenses. So again, I just have it broken down by department. The legal department, 4.9%, it includes services and fees for collecting unpaid taxes, what you was talking about earlier with like Siegel collecting taxes for us, that his fees are in there as well. Buildings, 65.4%. So we had a lot of expenses so far with the building. Electric, 17,000. Oil, heating oil was almost 5,000. Repairs, which is the biggest chunk of this, over $82,000, and most of that was from the air conditioner that was installed here at the village hall. Computer and tech support over 4,000, data processing over $23,000.
Sure.
With regard to the air conditioning,
Sure.
wasn't there going to be some sort of plan for you to get either a grant or something to mitigate that expense?
No, so that was for replacement. This was we have to fix it. There's no way we can implement a new system immediately or have the funding to do it. So this was basically replace the compressor, buy us time, so that we can start approaching grant work on a full replacement. That's the only monies that would potentially be available to us, is if we did a wholesale replacement of the system. So we've had a conversation with USDA, who does small municipal grants or small municipality grants for potentially infrastructure components of municipalities. One of them could potentially be an ACU now. They did clarify though, likely that they would provide us only with as a people call it low interest financing because it's not really low anymore. But they feel like given the current climate right now, we'd likely not qualify for monies as much as facilitating lending to help us with it. You know, we'll look into other possibilities. John has brought up a couple of ideas as it relates to Trane and other major large commercial manufacturers providing install the new system, pay with savings as you go through, which can be looked into. It's going to be expensive. We're gonna have to try to figure it out. And it may be one of those things where we start asking our Congress people basically for help, because it's gonna be significant. So this is to buy us time. None of it's gonna happen quick, and I think
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Moving on, Hunt Memorial, 55.1%. So there's a phone fee in there, not fee, but charges for over $4,000. What happened was we had some type of agreement with Granite Telecommunications. It was, I think, for security monitoring, and over $3,000 of that was prior year. It could have been 2 years ago, but we just paid that off this year.
We were trying to figure out exactly what it was to before paying for it. This was an agreement that was entered into a number of years ago. We should finally get clarity, confirm the lines that were once active are no longer active relating to security, and validated the bill, and finally get the payout for it. So it's a large lump sum, but it was for effectively many years of coverage. That we had moved on to a new service, but the lines separate of the security agreement were still active, which we also canceled, as we discussed probably a couple of months ago. But the last piece was closing out our end of that agreement. So
I included the police department in here too. They are, and Chief, I know Chief's not here, so 27.9%. They are actually under for the budget where they should be at this point in time, but they do have some. No, I'm not gonna say that again. Okay, no, they're actually under the budget for their contractual line. Yep.
To make everybody aware, well, no, that's contractual expenses, but the upcoming item, just to use this as a jumping off point, we will have bulletproof vest replacement, but there are grants that they're working through to make sure it's reimbursement grants both on the federal and state side. Again, unfortunately, with the federal situation, going to complicate it, and we have to see how that's going to play out, but it will definitely qualify for the state component of it. It's probably going to be about $15,000. We have to do it or outside of the replacement cycles for many of them. We have officers wearing non-fitted vests, effectively hand-me-downs, and we are outside of compliance.
And they have certain shelf life too.
Correct. So anyways, that will be an item tacked on, but again, there will be an offsetting revenue for grant monies coming in.
So with the police telecommunications, almost 3,000, gas. And this is gonna get higher too. It's over 5,000, computer tech support, almost 3,000. Well, I can't see this. Right, safety inspection. Again, we're talking about contractual items. They're at 42.4%, and computer tech support was over 3,000. Postage and freight over $1,400. Street maintenance 43.5%. Mainly consisted of paving and road repair, which we will get reimbursed by CHIPS at some point for some of this cost. Telecommunications over 6,000, gasoline almost 10,000, equipment repair almost $11,000. Street lighting is at 39.8%. I didn't put it on the chart, but I just included it on the side. Burn Road Park is at 41.9%. Electric is almost $6,000 so far. With the golf course, they're at 39.2%, which is actually just slightly above the average. They had a golf cart lease that was almost $20,000, landscaping almost $8,000, electric 5,500, gas over 3,600. And we have a celebrations line. I think there's only $3,000 in that line, and we're at 72.2% of that budget line. And that was from the Blueberry Festival and the Fireman's Parade, I believe. Employee benefits, I put this here because these are expenses as well. With health insurance, I reached out to our rep at MVP, and he said that we can estimate a 10 to 15% increase for health insurance in February. So that doesn't start in January, starts in February. Night shift is our other insurance carrier. We're waiting for further clarification from them, but night shift starts in January. So we should probably hear something soon from them.
Yeah, and to clarify with MVP, they send us a letter probably about a month and a half ago, informing us of their intention to increase at an approximate percent, but that is subject to negotiations with the state regulators to find a final determination of what that would be. I would expect it's going to be anywhere from like 8 to 12% when they finalize it. That is something that's affecting every municipality, every business, and it's critical. But you know, such is the nature of it right now.
Workers' compensation insurance. We pay this in January. We have an estimated bill right now. It's over $154,000 in the budget. We split it between general, water, and sewer. General, we budgeted $100,000, and it's only estimated at $88,200 right now, so that would be good. Keeps up. Water and sewer each $37,500 and estimated $33,100. So NYSER's employer contribution. We have 2 retirement systems here at the village. We have ERS, which is the employees retirement system, and the PFRS, which is the police and fire retirement system. So the police and fire is included in the general budget line. We budgeted $260,000 for this bill. That's due in December. I'm not sure if I had mentioned that. And the bill is an estimated $254,000. Put an extra, I forgot to put a decimal after that. It's over $254,000 right now. Water and sewer, we're both budgeted, well, we're budgeted at $20,000 and $30,000 respectively, and they're estimated at $20,100 and $30,200. So we're pretty much right on with the retirement.
And so with the estimated for the budgeted ERS, that's effectively just using the percentage division that we created when budgeting from the estimated amount that ERS is given. So that's a couple $100 over water and sewer. Okay.
I go back to general revenue. So general revenue on property taxes, we've collected 80.6% of our property taxes that we've billed so far this year. There is a cutoff date of October 31st, 2025 for the village. After that date, the balances are turned over to Ulster County. Pilots.
Actually, you know what, Casey, because I forgot to mention this during the discussion point, okay. I wanted to do that. Can't emphasize enough, if you have not paid your taxes for this year, October 31st is our cutoff. We enter into a very narrow period. There are certain conditions that we can accept taxes after that point. But after that, it is a hard cutoff. You cannot enter into payment plans. It is turned over to the county, and at that point, they are the collector, if you will. So we encourage anybody who is yet not to pay to do so now. It's a lot easier to come through us than it is to come through the county. Sorry, Casey.
Oh, no, you're fine. Okay. Pilot payments, those are payments in lieu of taxes for certain tax exempt properties. We typically receive a few payments in May and one in December. So we were behind in dispersing our payments, so we take the payment and then we have to disperse it to the taxing entities. We were behind in dispersing the payments, and that's reflective on the appropriation, or actually the revenue summary.
And this is what got dug through when we were preparing the budget, right? When all of a sudden there seemed to be, going back a number of years, monies that didn't seem to have a purpose. But,
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I haven't figured out, it took a while. Okay, and then, yes, we also received a late payment from one of the properties, so that's why the revenue summary looks a little bit askew that you guys have. Steckler Memorial Park. So they're at 59.9%, which again, can be misleading because of their season and how it hits the fiscal year. There was no tournament this year. These,
And just to provide some background, tournament has typically represented about $30,000 of revenue, if you will, as a donation. That didn't happen this year. So tournament has been an effort by individuals who take it up upon themselves to do it for the benefit of the golf course. This simply didn't happen this year. I would say the good thing has been so far, just looking at the bank statements, is that revenue at the course has at least balanced out that loss on the donation side, which, I mean, it's always been talked about that it needs to get off needing the donation from the tournament. So the good thing is at least it worked towards that, at least coming out neutrally. That's something to discuss probably in about another month when they kind of close out their season. There's some good information from it.
Lease and the SRO billing, we billed June through September for the SROs, and we're at 42% of that, so that's good. Building permits, they're really doing a great job. I know it's probably not, community doesn't really enjoy it, but they're doing a great job issuing tickets and collecting on those. They're at 49% right now. We also have state aid, which is aid and incentives from municipalities. We've received our annual payment already in September. State TMA, this is something new that we've received this year. We've received $24.09 in August. Sales tax, we're at 53.2%. Typically, we receive quarterly payments, and we should receive another one soon. Most recently, we received $9,770 for the period of June through August 2025. Cannabis tax, this is also something new. We received 3 cannabis tax payments, but they actually were applied to last fiscal year. We received almost $9,400 or $9,500 from those 3 payments, but we should see another payment soon that we can actually apply to this fiscal year.
And actually, just to provide some clarity on that, so the good news is that at first, the revenue that we were receiving, those payments from Ulster County, because the disbursement, were small, which is why we budgeted small for this year. I think the second to last payment we received was like $850 for like a 3-month period, which is why we only budgeted $5,000 because we suspected it could be very low. What is good is that the follow-up that we received on July 21st was over $5,000. So it's exponentially grown. So in a single quarter, we receive what we imagine we budget for an entire year.
So when she says that we got, but we applied it to last budget, is it because that is the money that we should have got last year, or?
So what it is, and this is kind of like the thing with municipal budgeting, it's, you know, it was for a period of time as a part of the last budget year, so it's.
Okay, so January, so it'd be part of the budget.
Yes, before we close our fiscal year, we can code things back to prior year.
Okay.
I think we got that in May, at the end of May, so
Okay.
we usually keep the prior year open for a couple months.
So from a reporting standpoint, it won't report on this, but in the sense it's cash received. And we expect now will be in the quarters that will count towards this year. And the good news is that that quarter is a canary, if you will, and we expect similar quarters after that, or even half of that. It will exceed the budgeted amount this year. I'm hopeful now, you know, when we saw the $800, it was like, okay, we got it right on the dot, but now could potentially double what we have expected.
Mortgage tax we receive in December and June. In June, we received over $9,700, and we should expect our December payment soon. I included CHIPS in here. CHIPS is not a part of the budget, it's in the capital fund. But I just wanted to include that because maybe it's something that wants for discussion, if we can include that in general fund or look into that. Because all of the costs associated with CHIPS are through the general fund.
So CHIPS is what gives back to the sewer department with the funds that we get to. Speed.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Data highway improvement.
Yeah.
Project.
So they expended like the truck and
Or, and it's for a lot of it, especially for paving.
And we have to make sure that we use it in the year.
No, it will roll over, so.
Oh, roll over.
Exactly, yes, I think it's a common misconception, because typically it's like you use it or lose it for a lot of other stuff. But CHIPS specifically in paved New York do roll over, so if you don't utilize it, those monies will roll into the next year. Just for everybody's thought, one of the things we noticed in budgeting for this year and just reviewing a lot of other municipal budgets, and as Casey I think alluded to, was that CHIPS are generally reported as general fund expenses. And in fact, going way back in time, Mary, you may even be able to speak to, is that it was actually a part of general fund expenses and general fund revenues, not part of a capital fund. At some point, a number of years ago, it shifted. And I think based on what I've seen from effectively like 95% of the other municipalities, is it is reported as expenditures and revenue. I think that's the way we should look into going forward. We're gonna ask the comptroller's office. But if everybody else is doing it, there's a good chance we just probably need to get on board and do the same thing. It just makes it more visible, it makes it more accountable, because then we know what we may put out and what we may receive as a part of it.
It's easier from a tracking standpoint. So we can track the okay. This is our last slide. That. So with the general fund debt, we have two TANs. First TAN was a renewal in June. It was over $272,000. And second TAN is coming due. It's $200,000. And we plan on renewing it for $99,000 and paying down $101,000. It's actually on the agenda tonight. They have a statutory installment bond. It's for the golf course. It was for equipment. We paid over $25,000 in September. It's going to be paid off next September. We also have a RAN that is $301,000. It's also due October 31st and on the agenda tonight. And it's a planned renewal. We have a statutory installment bond note that's $60,000 and it's due in December. It will be paid off in 4 years.
That's the Village Hall bond from a number of years ago.
We have installment purchase contracts. We have two of those, and they're both for police vehicles. The first one is was for 2 police vehicles over $28,000. And we paid off, that was paid off in September. And the next one is in November, it's for 1 police vehicle.
Casey, for those installment purchase contracts, has the comptroller provided us yet with any guidance on how we should be budgeting them? Because we build them into the contractual expense lines. Should they be reported as debt going forward?
Well, I didn't reach out to the comptroller's office, but looking at the chart of accounts, there is an installment purchase contract line
Okay,
that we could use.
okay,
Maybe I could reach out to RBT and get some clarification.
okay.
Sewer also has an installment purchase contract for a vehicle. It's gonna be over $11,000 due in March. It will be paid off in March 27. There is an Environmental Facilities Corporation, which is a long-term note, and we already paid $231,600 in August. The Water Department also has an EFC, which is another long-term note, and it's $79,570 and it's due in March. The Water Department also has a statutory installment bond note, and that was the Harris Well project that I mentioned earlier. The first payment is over $27,000. It's due in July 2026. And then it will be paid off in July 2020.
So before we move on from that, it was actually, I will actually mention in the motion, but just to kind of speed this up. So we're making, Mary, to your point, we haven't been able to make a principal payment on our TANs and RANs debt, which make up the majority of our general fund debt in over 2 years. We budgeted to do it. We expect that we will be in a place at the end of the budget year where we can make that payment now as we renew. So it's a first step of trying to get out of this once and for all. Because we get it. I mean, if we can't pay principal payments on debt, we're just treading water waiting to die. So I think this is a big step forward. Hopefully, as we move through, we can continue to make these kind of large chunk payments.
That's actually the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, guys.
It's such a fun thing.
I got it. Okay. With that, we will move through our resolutions, which are quite lengthy tonight. So if I can have a motion authorizing the purchase of a replacement chemical cartridge from Seaward. Mike, am I butchering that? That right on Seaward equipment in the amount of $4,561.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one, I just want to clarify, it's listed as clean for boilers, it's actually also repair boiler number 2. So it's clean and fixed. So motion authorizing Just Right Mechanical Systems to clean 4 boilers and to repair boiler number 2 in the base of the village hall in the amount of $2,163.10. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion authorizing the village of Ellenville Warsing Chamber of Commerce to hold their 10th annual Wassel and Joshua R. Peters Fire Truck Parade on Saturday, December 6th. A certificate of insurance has been provided in our packets.
I'll make it.
Move it, just to clarify, it's the 11th day.
11th day, did I say 10th? Sorry, 11th annual. I said it wrong, yeah, it's my mistake. A motion to set the curfew for 8:30 on Devil's Night, Devil's and Halloween night for all people under the age of 18.
I'll make the motion.
There is
Second for
something,
discussion.
yes, sorry, there is something being thrown out of school that will last till 9.
I guess that's on,
Because it's like of the age of 18, Can we say? with the-
No,
I think the way the village law is written is, it's under 18, but if you're with a parent.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say that, yeah, that's what it.
It doesn't have to, I think the village law just states that if it's,
It's on
the
their.
parent guardian.
On the
doesn't matter.
chaperone.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
gotcha.
okay, with that, so they have a second, motion
Second, aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Motion authorizing payment to ATC taxes in the amount of $1,900 to maintenance and internet hosting. AC, just to confirm, this is our tax processing company that facilitates the back end.
The online.
The online.
Yes.
component.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion authorizing payment in the amount of $249.20 for reimbursement of mileage to Bruce Donahue.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to authorize payment in the amount of $134.40 for reimbursement of mileage to Michael Ryman.
Moved.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion authorizing purchase of 2 pallets, 90 bags of fertilizer, from First Turf and Ornamentals, and the amount of 2,240. Oops, the typo.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's
2,477.
Okay.
2,477.70.
On the recommendation of the Gulf Coast Superintendent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion authorizing payment in the amount of $3,825 to Michael Siegel Esquire for the collection services of local taxes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Wait, I have it open for discussion.
Sure.
What is the period of time that that's the amount being paid?
Should be,
That was on there.
Something in your packet.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think it was billable to,
Yeah.
So it says monthly stipend of 3,000. Okay. No, that's easy.
Michelle Franklin.
Yeah, I don't.
here it is.
Got it?
Yeah, so I'll read it aloud. Dear Michelle, the following represents my billing from June to September 2025. It's the review and analysis of title searches, mailings to mortgage companies, correspondence with the village, preparations of petitions, notice of petition, and filings to the Ulster County Clerk. It's also for, which was approximately 14 hours, workout agreements for tax delinquents, including phone calls, in-person meetings, drafting of agreements, and correspondence and escrow services. The escrow services are, I don't want to say the names aloud.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So that amount of the total of 17 billable hours, which totaled came to at $225, which is our municipally agreed billing rate for attorney services. Total due is $3,825, which again, most of it we expect to get billed back when we bill it out.
Okay.
So
We approved it then. We made a motion.
we made a motion, but we didn't authorize. So all in favor? Okay.
11. Here we go, there you go.
Okay. So number 10, which was the motion I hired, yep, correct. Motion authorizing Parish Beach, Mertha, attorney at law in the amount of $5,466 for bonding services. On the recommendation of the village treasurer, this is related to our CAN and RAN renewals.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve a payment in the amount of $101,000 of the existing TAN from M&T Bank, which matures on October 31st, 2025, on the recommendation of the village treasurer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to authorize, sorry, I apologize, motion to approve the renewal of the following debt notes that mature on 10/31/2025. New notes will be non-callable, bank designated, qualified, and mature on October 30th of 2026, approximately 12 months. The interest rate will be determined at a later rate. Documents will be reviewed by bond counsel, Paris Beach. One in the amount of $99,000 for the tax anticipation note, one in the amount of $301,000 for the revenue anticipation note, and another renewal of $300,000 for another revenue anticipation note.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This one I want to go into just quickly. So the village has unfortunately been without cybersecurity insurance for about 18 months because we were effectively uninsurable. We had 2 claims back in 2019 and 2020 due to ransomware incidents, which were pretty significant. And upon review by underwriters, they effectively determined that our current composition of our cybersecurity structure was abysmal. So we have worked over the last 18 months with them to implement modern security standards, multi-factor authentication, locking down remote access, and working on our local administration services, which have allowed us to finally receive cybersecurity insurance again, but it also cut that payment in half. We used to pay a premium of over $9,000 a year. We now will pay, just make sure I get the numbers right, 43. Sorry, I'm losing my pieces. You have to wait until I get that. Yeah, okay, total policy costs will be $4,614.69.
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? This will be a $3 million coverage policy. You have to have approximately $1 million. It's based on our municipal exposure. We would offer $1-2 million. We moved to 3 given our liabilities as a customer information based on our water and sewer accounts. If there was ever compromised, there could be personal data or revenue stolen, potentially that would cover it.
Perfect.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. And the final motion, motion authorizing tree removal. This is a village easement that we have between 10 and 12 Terry. It is for a failed culvert that has existed for a long time. We have a clear easement all the way through and over the embankment on the Fantine Kill. So the tree has died. It is a significant oak tree on the top. And we need to get it down.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And with that, once that tree is down, then we're gonna start, we'll have the street department go in, because it's large sinkhole.
We got it.
And deal with it. Okay, with that, I'll go to board report.
Wait.
Okay. I apologize.
16.
16.
17.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, motion authorizing payment to Attorney Albert Morse in the amount of $4,125.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Question,
Sure.
is this in addition to the monthly stipend or?
So this is including monthly stipend and then defending us in Ulster County Supreme Court over a matter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Motion authorizing payment in the amount of $5,870 to ECS Environmental for 24 15-gallon drums of zinc orthophosphate upon the recommendation of the Department of Fourth.
Second.
All in favor? Thanks, sorry about that. Okay.
So now we're.
Cleared, I feel pretty.
Yeah. Let's drag it out a little bit. So with that board report.
No, 18, just one more. Yeah. I gave you the new.
Motion authorizing use of village available parking lot on October 31st, 2025, 4:30 to 8.
That's right.
The annual Assembly of God, annual light the night. Insurance has been provided.
Sorry, no, I made a mess of my packets. I had a lot.
Okay,
Can you just pass this down for us so we can just review? This is an
Okay,
annual
board report.
condition, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. Everybody okay?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. Okay. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, Cheryl.
Where would I be able to get a copy of the slideshow? Hard copy, can I have a copy email?
I can send that to you. Okay. Yep, you got it.
That would be nice.
Sure.
The general thing for all of us. to be honest.
And also the notes from this meeting, this will be on YouTube after the fact, so just from the commentary, that'll be available to the public too. Sure.
Casey, I do appreciate you coming and showing the graph because it's very transparent. I can actually see what's going on. So thank you for coming and showing. Also, halfway through, would you provide another one before we reach the budget as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I think that would be important to do it again. I think that'd only be in a couple months though.
Can we, you know what, so halfway is December 1st, and can we do it maybe at the meeting after the holidays, maybe the first week of January, so that. Yeah, basically, it kind of gives us about 7 months, so we're planning for like January meeting, first or the second meeting.
Or maybe even after the lump sums of payouts, what they give for.
Nice slurs and all of that,
Yeah, so then we can actually see where we are after what they think.
Yeah.
New board members exceeded on December 1.
Yeah.
So it might be beneficial for those folks to either do something informally or you have something so that they can come up to speed as as they take their seats.
Okay. Okay, so board report, any specific comments anybody can share?
There's gonna be a trunk or treat at the town of Worsing, not the recreation department, but we are collaborating with the recreation department. We're throwing something at the school, a trunk or treat. If you are interested in doing a trunk, please contact me because the more the merrier. People complain that there's never anybody there, but we need volunteers to volunteer a trunk to decorate. So it is October 31st, 6 to 9. It'll be music at the school. Please join, please come, get candy, please do a trunk if you're able to.
Trustee Burke, something sort of. Deputy Mayor Younger.
Yeah, I would just like to commend the street department and the paving company, was Sullivan something. Yeah, you know, on all the streets that they did, you know, there were like, what, 14, 18, somewhere
Yeah, I
around
think it was
there.
like about 14.
You know, they were on it with what they needed to do. You know, I know they have some touch-up work that need to be done, but I just wanted to commend street department and Sullivan County for the paving. Also, I was glad to see that Mr. Siegel continued to move forward with the, delinquent taxes. Happy to see that was still ongoing and that we collected what we were collecting, and we're able to sign some contracts for, delinquent taxes, so glad to see that. And then lastly, I know Rita Vanacore was here, hoping that we would consider the resolution opposing the big beautiful bill. I didn't wanna comment then, but because I didn't have a chance to read it, to see what was in it, but that would be my comment on that. And as she pointed out, from what I see and from what I've heard of it, I really haven't really dived into all the particulars. If what she's saying is really going to hurt a lot of people, regardless of what side, we're on, regardless of who we associate with, who we, whatever party you're affiliated with, if it's gonna affect all of us, community, the state, the nation, maybe we need to consider it, and look at it and see what we're willing to, look what we're willing to say on it. So, because this, from what I understand, it's across the board. So, so I just wanted to make that comment about.
I just want, I know she alluded to having presented this to the town and that they felt they didn't want to act on something that wasn't within their purview to act, but TJ can tell you, at the county level, we always think it's a memorializing resolution, and that basically says, look, this isn't our game to fight, but we want to go on record as saying that on behalf of our constituents, we either support this or we don't support it for various reasons. So even though, unfortunately, the village board isn't going to have a say in this big, beautiful bill, You do have a say in expressing the feelings of yourselves and your community.
Sure.
So, but we did them, how many times, people, right, every night we have a list like this, but they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
They do.
It's very.
Your Honor, I would ask maybe you put that on the agenda for next time, sure, for the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
Trustee
No,
Kennedy?
no, I'm good.
I understand there's a huge amount of money, 54 million, or I don't know, all those zeros make me nervous. Being cut from rural health, and that's us.
Yeah.
That's us.
That's us.
For sure, I mean, I don't know about anything else in that bill, but rural health, that's us.
It is.
Yeah, it's something to think about, something to consider,
Right? Sure.
something to look at closely.
Maybe educate ourselves a little more on everything that's in it, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Move to adjourn.
Yeah, second.
Yep. Ivy, second.
all in favor? Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight.
You don't wanna stand and look like they go.
I didn't see.
I should,
Yeah, we don't set the meeting of that, it is one. John was like good shit.
But.
Because remember we used, no, they thought.